Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. And today we are going to talk about the book. Let me just show the book to you first. We are going to talk about the book A Pinch of Humor and a Dash of Smile. And it's written by Komal Damani. This is the book that we are going to talk about, and she's going to be my guest today. We are going to talk about this very personal memoir and how she went about writing it. She is one of the most inspiring people I have come across recently, and her story she has put down into the pages of this book and has written it in such an heartfelt manner. It's it not only manages to move you to tears, but it also makes you chuckle once in a while. And we are going to talk to her about how she wrote this story and what her entire life story was like and how she managed to put it into such a short book. Hi Samir. Hi. Hi Vishu sir. Hi Nilshri. Shout out to Nilshri also because she was the one who introduced me and Komal, and that's how this episode is happening today. Let me see if Komal is here. If she's not, I'm just going to send her an invitation quickly. I don't want to tell you more about the guest today and what the book is about. I want to you all to hear it from the guest herself because her life has been so inspiring and she has put those incidents from her life into this book. So let's wait for her. Hi Nikita, thank you for joining. Okay, I think there might be some issue here. Hey, yeah, Komal is here. Hi Komal, I'm just going to invite you quickly. Okay, this is going to take a few attempts, I guess. Instagram is giving us trouble as always. I've sent you a fresh invitation, Komal. See if you received that. Hey, hi Komal, how are you?
Hello, good. How you?
I'm also good. So I was just telling everyone that I don't want to talk more about you and what you are because I want them to hear directly from you because it's a very deeply personal and inspiring story that you have written in this book. So without any further ado, introduce yourself to us, please.
Thank you so much. I first of all want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share this space with you. And hello, everyone. My name is Komal Damani. As you all know, I am a mother of a very cute 1-year-old toddler, and I am a rare cancer survivor. So, as of now, yes, I think many people know me as a cancer warrior and a cancer survivor. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It's been a year that I am in remission, so I'm happy to share that news with everyone, and hoping to many more years for that. And I have recently just explored the writings part of myself, and I have come across beautiful people like Manali and many others. So really excited to explore this a bit more. And yes, that's all from me. If you have any other questions, happy to answer.
Yes, I'm just quickly going to show everyone the book again. Do you have the paperback with you by any
Yes.
chance, Komal? Yes. Please show it to everyone. It's a very
Yes.
good cover. Let's talk about the cover first before we go any further.
Yes.
Uh, have you designed it yourself?
Yes, I would love to talk about the cover actually because it's been designed with by a very dear friend actually. Her name is Niharika Sheth Mulla, and it was very kind enough of her to offer to do this in solidarity. So thank you so much, Niharika. And I don't know if I don't know if y'all can see, but that's me, that's my husband, and that's my little son.
Oh,
So
yes.
So
How
I
cute.
love
Yes.
how, she's added this as a family because though I've written it, it's not just my story to share, it's a story that also belongs to my husband and my son. So yes, it was very sweet of her to, add all three elements together. That's very sweet.
Yeah, and definitely it's a very quirky cover, if I think we can use that word. It captures it, but yes,
Yeah.
uh, there is a sweetness to it, but there's also like, a little bit of quirkiness going on there. You know that. you are going
Yes.
into a personal story, but there is also going to be a little bit of smiling involved because in the title also we see it, a pinch of humor
Yes.
and a dash of smile. So we are prepared for that, and that's something that it struck me really. Like I've already shared my review with you. It's a
Yes.
very heartfelt story. You have
Thank you
been
so much.
as honest as you could possibly have been, and over and above that, you have been shared this very inspiring, brave journey of how you went through this entire tough challenges in your life, and not just. I don't want to give away, take away
Sure.
from the book, yeah, but it's not just the cancer that you have
Yeah.
survived. There have been other health hazards as well, and I have observed this over my lifetime that people are not very comfortable
Yeah.
sharing health issues with each
Yeah.
other, especially when it goes to a public forum. Within
Yeah.
the family, also, we are hesitant, but we
Yeah.
talk more comfortably. But with outside the family, it
Yeah.
becomes even more uncomfortable. We don't share it with anyone. People are of the belief that ये सब बातें बाहर चली जाएंगी लोग क्या सोचेंगे and all that happens.
Yeah.
But you have put it out in the most honest manner possible. It's heartfelt, it's
Thank you.
inspiring, and also it manages to make you laugh here and there. That was so cute.
Thank
So
you so
very
much.
well written book. Congratulations on
Thank
that, woman.
you so much.
And
That means a lot.
I think as many people as possible should read it because it brings so many things into perspective. First of all, you learn to be grateful that you have
Absolutely.
blessed with a good health. That's one of the most
Yes.
obvious things
Yeah.
that comes across, that
Yeah.
one should be thankful for one's health, and also the little things we
That's
must
true.
enjoy those because
Yeah.
we have such limited time on this globe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
and you have put it across
Yeah.
really well because you have shared from day one to the last day, you have
Yeah.
shared each day what you were observing, what you were going through, and then on each of those days, what were the things that were keeping you going. So
Yeah.
that was really nice. And I think everyone can learn a bit of gratitude by reading that.
Thank you so much. Actually means
Especially people who
lot.
take
Yeah.
life for granted,
Yeah.
especially people who take those little things and their lives for granted. I think that would be a beautiful lesson through this book.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
So I'm just going to read out from the first chapter itself
Sure.
because I think we start with a bit of humor right in the first chapter, and I really like that.
Actually, those who know me would know that, I am somebody who cannot stay upset. And if you like meet me, you will not see me without a smile. And I think that's what I wanted to even show in the book that, this is me. I am not like faking it, and it's not like I've thought about it, but I have written it as and when I was going through it. So it is absolutely real and true. There's yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so before I read the chapter, I also want to show everyone that in between all the chapters and mostly at the beginning of each
Yeah.
chapter and somewhere in between also you have put up this little cute
Oh,
graphics.
yeah.
I talked about this in my review, but I want to say that they also add their own. So sorry, I was getting an audio call, so I
No
think,
problem. It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So uh, this also
Yeah.
kind of puts a break in the. I don't
Yeah.
know. They're like this.
Yes.
Uh, we have this word in movies where we use this element. It's called comic relief,
Okay.
and this is what the this is what the graphics are doing in your book. They are giving a little bit of comic relief in between all the struggles that we are reading about, and that's a really nice element.
Thank you so much. I'm actually, honestly, when I was reading like my own book and I realized that it's getting a little boring, and that's not me. So I am an artist as well. So I thought, let me just add a few doodles, so that it's fun because that is what life is all about. It's a little bit of fun. Uh,
Okay,
Thank
so
you so
I'm
much.
going to.
Yes.
I'm sorry for cutting you
No,
out.
no, not
Just going to
at
read
all.
out.
Yes.
So this chapter is titled "When Watching a Movie," and you have shown a graphic of yourself and your sister, where your sister is wiping away her tears and you are just enjoying the popcorn. Yeah, so it starts like this. I will not go into all the details because the
Yeah.
purpose of this book is not to be a biopic that requires a box of tissues to read. Not that it is a book that you read while snacking on some popcorn either. Hmm. I must admit that the thought of popcorn while reading this book is appealing. Some caramel cheese popcorn, yummy. I was writing while I had food restrictions and aversions, so popcorn, yummy. I have always been known as the Aunt Agony type due to my practical and realistic approach to life. As you can tell from my popcorn comment, I am indeed a practical person. I try to come out of challenging situations stronger and do not dwell on the past, present, or even the future now. Forgiveness and no expectations are the key to staying content. I do not let life bring me down, and I am not afraid of facing challenges. I forgive and move on with no regrets because you learn something from each challenge. Life is short but long at the same time for grudges, tears, and stuff. Shouldn't we learn to cherish and enjoy what we have rather than cry over things we cannot have or that are not in our hands? This is beginning to sound like a donkey praising its tail and a philosophy session. So let's move on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have Nilshri here, and she has also mentioned that this was my first read of 2025, and she enjoyed it. She really enjoyed
Thank
it.
you so much, Nilshi. That means a lot.
Yes, based on my reading and whatever I know about you from the little time that we have known each other, I have a couple of questions. Uh, my first question to you is, since this is very personal, how did you draw the line between what you want to write and what you don't want to share? Because I'm sure it was difficult to bring down
Yeah.
such a challenging journey. I mean, it might have been short in terms of duration, but it was definitely long in terms of what you had to go through. So, how did you manage to bring it to a concise level, and how did you decide what to put and what not to put? Like, I don't want to share this with the world. This stays with me or my family. And this is what I want to share with the world and, you know,
Yeah.
maybe probably make the world a better place.
For sure. So, like you rightly pointed out that it is very difficult to choose what to write and what not. But the idea of the book was not to share just a story. I wanted to actually inform people that what exactly happened so that they can help either themselves or their fellow members. And that's exactly why I tried to keep it not like a sob story or not like too much of what's going on in my mind. It should just be more of exactly how this journey is for one
Hmm.
person. So I tried to cut down on, that emotional and the thoughts, processes that were going on, except for one chapter where I have written my thoughts before the chemo, just so that somebody understands what exactly happens, to that person, so they can be a little more empathetic towards that person. So it was, I actually don't talk about myself to anybody, not until the past year. But I think it is time that people speak up because a lot of people can get help out of this, because it's not a topic that is very spoken about.
Hmm.
So it's high time people realize that by telling someone that, you're feeling vulnerable, that
Hmm.
doesn't make you wrong or weak. It just makes you human. So I think I tried to put that across in this book so that
Hmm.
people, can feel a bit more, I don't know, strong to share their stories with the world. That
Yeah,
it's actually a pride or an honor to wear, and it's not something to feel sorry for yourself or unfortunate.
yeah, and
So
that's really
yeah,
important. And also, I think books like these are really important to send across the message that having been through such challenging times that does not make you a victim. It makes you a
exactly.
survivor.
Absolutely. I think we victimize ourselves, and probably I was doing that, and that's when I realized that everybody might be doing the
Yeah.
same. So it's time to write down the story and stop victimizing yourself and be proud of the strength that we all have in us. So I think that was the whole idea when I was trying to edit the book, to not come across as just an autobiography, but also like a book that can, really open minds and thoughts. Yeah.
I think that that is also one of the reasons it's so honest and raw. Uh, because I think you have tried to stick to the point, but also kind of like, put in as many important things as possible from your point of view.
Yeah.
And one of the most important I felt was the one that you are talking about. You're sharing your thoughts and
Yeah.
you have put it out in the form of a thought bubble where you are
Yeah.
exactly pointing out what not to say and what to say, what you can say.
That's true.
That's really helpful actually because
Yeah.
a lot of people are insensitive about such things, but
Yes.
a lot of people are also in a subset where they want to be sensitive, but they don't know the right
We
thing
don't
to
know
say.
how.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So that's kind of a guide for the people who might come across similar stories or similar people and how they can talk to them, how they can not come across as somebody who's trying to be insensitive. Yeah.
So
Obviously insensitive mat bano.
I think you explained it better than I could have. Yes.
Yeah, so that brings me to my next question. Just a second, I'm just going to pull it up because I have forgotten. I think I have already mentioned that I have a Gajini memory. So excuse me for that.
Well, you absolutely have my company in that matter.
Yeah, so my second question was that since there must have been a moment during this entire journey. You have started from 2014. First, you had a case of dengue, which you are talking
Yeah.
about in the book. That's where the health problems really started for you. So I don't think that was the point when you decided to write this in the
Oh,
form of a book. It must have been much later, right? So I want to know that point or that particular incident, which was like we all have that particular moment कि हाँ अब ये तो करना है. It might have been in your subconscious for a long time, but this was like the breaking point कि हाँ I want to share. Talk about that. And did you read other people's experiences or talk to other people who have been through similar experiences that helped you write the book better?
sure. So I'll start with the first point that you mentioned, which is when did I start or felt the need to write it? So I actually had not included the part of my dengue in the book. It was pointed out by someone else that, I should talk about that because otherwise people are not going to get a reference to what I'm trying to
Hmm.
talk in
Yeah.
the chapter. So definitely, the first thought was actually when I had my first round of chemo. Until then, I had never imagined in my life to write down a book and that too my story. The reason why I wrote it was two reasons actually, because um, I did not have enough information while I was going through the journey that I was. And I am somebody who likes knowing what's going to happen next. So I wish that somebody had spoken about it or mentioned it so like in detailed form so that I knew what I'm supposed to expect because a doctor informing and a patient informing is very different.
Hmm.
A
True.
patient knows exactly, what happens practically, whereas I was just told about the theoretical concepts of what can happen. So that is one reason. The other was that everybody was expecting me to break down at one point, at several points actually, but I wasn't. I, for me, I don't know, the news of having cancer was a very neutral news. I have not either been happy or sad, nothing. Like it was completely neutral reaction from my side. And I think that's what baffled a few people, and they like told me I'm very calm and I'm very composed, and probably I should share this aspect of dealing with life also with the others, so that they probably inspires one person, and why not? I thought it's okay. It's time to not hide into your cocoon and your comfort zone, and time to speak up so that like it helps a lot of people get a voice, which I think people
Yes.
are scared to, like
Yeah.
do. So these were two reasons actually why I thought, okay, I should write a book. If I got experience of anybody else, actually, I have a very rare tumor, which I haven't come across yet, somebody having. So I don't think I had enough to base on.
Hmm.
And the chemo also that I had, I have actually not known many people who've had it. So obviously nobody's written it anywhere or spoken about
Hmm.
it. I thought, why not give information out there in case, God forbid, I hope not, but if somebody is supposed to be in the same position, then at least somebody will have information, which I didn't.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yes.
not to meet anybody having the same experience,
Yeah.
but yes. But if someone does, then I'm there. Like you can bank on having some information from me. So yes. Yeah.
Okay. But any other, not just related to cancer, but any other people who have been through health hazards like this, which can be life threatening, did you speak to those?
I have obviously, like, we obviously see people going through a lot of challenges in their lives around, and I feel everybody is inspirational because it's not easy going through any kind of a challenge. It's not just cancer, challenge can be anything.
Hmm.
And all of us around are so inspirational, because everybody is like battling their own
Yeah.
battles every day, silently, with a smile on their faces. And I think everyone's been an inspiration somewhere. It's hard to pinpoint on one person because there's a lot of hope and inspiration around. So definitely like snippets of like people around me and people that we read and see on like news or maybe through someone else that how they fought beautifully their battles. So definitely really inspired by a lot of people. So yeah,
Maybe not consciously, but definitely subconsciously. Yeah.
for sure,
Okay.
definitely. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. You were also mentioning that somebody advised you to include that part of your health related hazard about the dengue.
Yeah.
Somebody advised you to do that. Tell us about that. How did that happen? You were sharing the first draft with someone? Was it that?
Actually, so that I had a lot of support from my sister and my husband, and they encouraged me to write about the book because I thought that why would anybody want to read about cancer? It's the word cancer always brings like, oh, it'll be a sob story. Like nobody would want to read that. So they both really pushed me to write it, and of course, my sister helped me edit the book. And she was the one to point out that I should write about dengue because I had forgotten about that incident completely. But it has created a lot of impact. So
Hmm.
she thought that it should be nice of, like if people could get a context as to what I'm talking about, if you've read about that issue that I had with my veins and all.
Yes.
So I tried to keep it short because I do not want to make it about, like dengue particularly, but
Okay.
just a little reference to context.
Yeah, but I'm glad your sister pointed it out because it shows how brave you have been all through it. I mean, since 2014. And it's not been easy. And while I was reading it, I just wanted to reach out to you and just give you a hug. You've been so brave.
That's so
You are in.
sweet. That's so sweet. I honestly, what I feel is that, anybody who has a problem, they somehow manage to get the strength in them to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if anybody had been in my shoes, they would have just done the same. Like they would have definitely like, pulled up the socks and fought
Mhm.
like each day as if, it's the last. And so yeah, I think we're all strong enough. So it's not just me. I
Yeah.
think
I think
yeah.
you're being too humble. I think you have to give yourself thoda sa credit also that you. Yeah.
I just been, I think, lucky to have some really good people to obviously, support. And otherwise, it would not have been easy, like raising my child. So
Yeah.
definitely not done this alone. Have had a lot of support, and especially my husband's been fabulous.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Lovely. And forever grateful for sharing this journey with us because I'm sure when anybody who has read this book, when they are feeling down in their life emotionally, and let's not hope physically ever, but even emotionally, when they are, down, they would remember some
yeah,
parts of your journey that you've shared with us in this book, and it would give them encouragement that I can do it too. This will pass for me too.
yeah. Yes, I think that I have to give a little credit to my husband and sister for that because they really like it's given me a lot of motivation to write about this and speak about it. Otherwise, it's hard,
Yeah,
to actually.
it
But
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
that brings me to the end of my questions that I had for you. I leave the floor open to you now. You have also read my recent book.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I would tell you that it was such a coincidence that you've written about gratitude, and that's one thing that is the
Yeah.
crux of why I wrote the book. So thank you for writing about it. Not many people write about it, so I was very happy to come across your book, and it was a pleasure reading it. And to everyone, it's a compilation of beautiful letters
This
written.
is the book that
Yes,
you're talking about, Embraces in Ink. And Komal is not
yes,
able to show it because she doesn't have, I mean,
I'm
it's the
reading.
book is not available in paperback yet. So, and
Yes.
it's on the Kindle. Uh, and she's talking to us through the phone, so obviously she can't show the cover. Please go on.
I have to say that it's beautiful collection of letters, and not just to people but also to objects that we take granted for in our lives. Um, I was very happy, of how you mentioned a few objects, and I I uh, I don't think I can pick one particular letter to talk about because there are such beautiful lines in all of them.
Thank you.
So there are three particular poem letters actually, which there are certain lines that have really stuck by me and beautiful lines. I hope it's okay if I can
Yeah, of
share
course, please.
those. I I love the first one that you've written, which is there's one line I have to say that I want to know what you were thinking when you wrote it because it's such a perfect line that you've written when where it was that can you take a hike? Like, dear clock, can you just take a hike? It's such a beautiful line. I think we all want to say it, but you've just said it so beautifully.
I don't know. I mean, probably I was just in the flow and really, in that mood where I'm grateful also and a little bit of also at this
Absolutely.
object. Like you are, spoiling my sleep every day. Just go.
I absolutely love that. I love how you've even said thank you, but you even like expressed what you feel in a very quirky way, which was actually very beautiful.
Yeah.
I genuinely loved it.
Thank you.
The other two letters are from what you've written to yourself. So one of those was one that you've written to your past self.
Hmm.
I will read out a few lines from that because they're really beautiful. Um, I know it feels like nobody understands you, but I also know you'll need to understand yourself first. And once that happens, everything and everyone will make more sense. This is really beautiful because, we always just keep saying that nobody understands us, and we don't realize that sometimes we're looking for questions ourselves. So I I feel this is actually really a matured way of looking at things, and I wonder how if there's any particular incident that made you feel this way, because not everybody can come to this point of their life without having faced challenges or something. So I found this very matured and beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes me really happy. And yes, of course, as you were saying, everyone has their own set of challenges that they have to go through in their lives. So my life hasn't been a bed of roses either. So there have been challenges, of course. And I always, I mean, my growth over the past few years has been a little better than it was over the previous years of my life. And I've become a more self-aware person. I think that's where those few lines that you read out came
Yeah,
from. That, you know, if I can't accept myself or love myself, how will I expect other people in the world to,
yeah.
you know, praise me or accept me? Praise तो फिर भी दूसरी बात है, पहले accept करो.
It's actually very beautiful because, all the letters I realize that they are so matured because you've not written them just, by idealizing yourself. Like, you've really thought of probably that person's point of view or that object's point of view as to what they offer in our lives. And And I could see that in every letter, and which is really beautiful.
Thank you so
So it was a pleasure reading it. My favorite is Dear Ideal Self. I have to tell you that because it is what I love about this. So I'm going to read it out. I think then probably people will understand what I'm trying to say. Dear Ideal Self, I look up to you, but not because you're the best, but for how you're doing better than me. I respect you, not because I respect myself any lesser, but for how you push yourself for things I quickly give up on. I admire you, not because I have any less admiration for what I've achieved, but for how you don't let your failures and achievements become the driving force for your tomorrows. This is so beautiful, because you're explaining that you like yourself the way you are, but you also like, that
There is
better
scope for
version.
improvement.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's beautiful, where you have acceptance for yourself, but you also have that wish to do better.
Yeah.
So it's it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And this has been a constant belief that I have had over the past few years that, I'm a constant work in progress. And that's the motto also I have, accepted in
Yeah.
life and follow that
Yeah.
it's always going to be a work in progress. I'm never going to be perfect. Nobody can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, some people believe they are good for them, but I know I'm not.
I I love the way you said that. It's honestly wonderful, I am so happy to read this. It just probably what's what I needed, Sometimes you need these words of wisdom, and these are the things that you probably know that you're supposed to think of and tell yourself, but we don't do it,
Yeah.
right? So this is something beautiful, I think
Have a
people
request
do.
from one of the viewers. Aparna is
Yeah.
saying there is this beautiful, peaceful, poetic touch to what you are reading. Please go on. So I think you need to complete the poem that you
I
are reading.
Yeah, I would be happy to because I think I've read that poem many times already. I just love it. I'm going to continue from where I left. I envy you, not because I feel like I haven't done enough myself in comparison, but for how such comparisons with self or others don't seem to affect you at all. I want to be more like you, not because of lack of self-love, but for how I can learn all of the above and much more from you. So, will you teach me? Can you show me? Would you like to enlighten me from your unideal self? I love these, the way you ended every letter in a different way. It's so beautiful. I don't know how you've come up with this. It's just so intelligent, emotional,
Thank
like
you.
it's everything.
Thank you
It's
so
beautiful.
much. One of my
Okay.
favorite ones is the one where I talk about my glasses, and I've given them the adjective of
Yes.
vision giver. And people always look down upon people with specs.
Yeah.
And we
Yes.
ourselves,
I
though
understand.
people who have specs also, we also make fun of our glasses. And
Yeah.
I was very happy that I gave it a positive touch there. Vision giver. It's
It's
a good
it's
idea.
actually beautiful, and I'll tell you why, because obviously I don't have glasses. I didn't think of that, like, as to how important glasses can be for someone.
Yes.
It's
Thank
it's
you.
amazing.
Thank you so much for reading it out. You read it out very beautifully and you made me fall in love with my own words again. Thank you so much.
They're actually beautiful. I honestly, that's what I said, that I know it's very wrong to pick one letter out of all because they all have a lot of depth and meaning. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, so Komal, now we come to my favorite part, which is the rapid fire round. So how we'll do this, Komal, is we'll do back and forth. One question I ask, one
Sure,
question you ask. Okay.
sure.
So my first question to you is, we have spoken a bit about it. Now I want to know, is there any incident from the book that you had to remove? Tell us about it and why was it removed?
Actually, that is. I obviously, when I was writing it, there was a lot of angst. So I did write about one incident which I wrote with a little bit of angst, and it was about my interaction with one of the doctors, and it did not go very well. So, um, without mentioning who the person is, I can just say that I think because I had my treatment in another country, sometimes, the doctors can really make it a fight between which country is better and which
Yeah.
treatment is better. So I went through that and I had written that in detail. And my sister very rightly pointed out to me that, this is not about what you think, it's about what you want people to know. So
Mhm.
I'm happy to not have written that. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there is, I mean, you've been able to recover beautifully through your journey, and you have all, of course, got the best of treatment
Mm.
in France itself. But I feel there is a bit of hostility involved. I don't know if you experienced it, but in my experience, so in the healthcare in the country that I am living, I have
Mm.
experienced a bit of hostility, at least. Was there any kind of hostility that you experienced?
I probably have been grateful and fortunate enough. I had a very beautiful team.
Okay.
So I I think it would have been harder probably in India because I would have been with people around me, giving me those pity and sympathy
Yes.
glances. I escaped that over here
Yeah.
because over here it's okay to be bald.
Yeah.
It's okay to be, like to wear scars. It's okay to
Mhm.
look the way you do. So, and plus, I don't think I've once heard that, oh, how poor. Nobody once told me that here. In fact, they told me, oh my God, you're such an inspiration, handling a child and like surgeries and chemo. So I've probably been fortunate. So,
Yeah.
yes, I shouldn't be correct for me to say that, it's better outside India. It's just that I've been fortunate enough
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I
Okay.
hope everybody, I wish and hope that everybody has that experience
Yeah,
and
definitely. Yeah.
it's
Okay.
difficult.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely difficult, especially since you are away from, you
yeah,
have mentioned this in your book also, because there's a language
oh,
barrier.
for
So there's
sure,
always going to be a communication gap is always going
for
to be
sure.
there. That's always going to be an issue. And of course, we are also away from our family and
Yes,
friends. So that becomes another
yes.
issue.
Oh, for sure. That's what when you said, I was like, oh yes, like what you're saying, I can relate to that, but I've been fortunate.
Yeah. Great. We have a suggestion from Aparna who's saying the doctors of your resident country should read your poems. Thank you, Aparna.
You should, I think, gift a copy to them. It'll
Okay.
keep them human.
Yes. Okay, your first question.
Yes. Mm, so I, you have a lot of like, well, you are a blogger as well and an author. So I wanted to know that where exactly does your heart lies? If you were to choose one, would you be able to?
Oh my God. So blogging involves me being a reader. So I would probably choose that because I don't want to give up on reading. I can probably, like heart to my knife, knife to my heart, I can probably give up writing, but I can't give up reading because reading is what ultimately led to this journey of becoming an author. So,
That's beautiful. Yes.
okay, my next question. Uh, You have written a note to your son in the epilogue of this book. So I am really curious to know at what age do you intend to make Adi read the book?
I want to read it out to him and tell him about me as soon as he can probably start, like understanding reading himself. And I also want him to read once he grows up because that's when he'll understand what the words mean.
Hmm.
So probably make him read twice.
And I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I mean, having such a brave mother, he would want to read those bits again and again, listen
I don't
about it
think he
again.
has a choice.
That's true. Okay, your turn.
Um, oh yes, so after reading these letters, I had something that came to my mind was that would you prefer having a conversation, like one on one, or would you prefer writing a letter?
I am always a text over call person. I mean, even in the virtual world. So I would
Okay.
definitely prefer talking through letters. I mean,
Beautiful.
nothing beats having a face to face conversation, but I am just better when I'm
Yeah.
communicating through writing rather than talking. So I would prefer that. It's definitely 100% possible what I'm trying to convey would go wrong when I'm
I
talking through my.
understand. Your letters are beautiful, so please don't stop writing.
Thank you so much. Okay, my next question to you is anything that you would like to change about this book, which is a pinch of humor and a dash of smile. Anything that you would like to change? Why and how?
I no, actually, I wouldn't because they are two facts. There's nothing to change.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. We have Aparna's comment here. She's saying, Komal, your book will be his most treasured possession. Yeah,
Thank you
Adi's.
so much. That really means a lot.
Yes, your turn.
Yes. So, if I know you've written many books, so if in case there was a movie to be made on one of your books, which one would you choose and why?
Wow. Um, I would have to say the novel. I mean, I've written two novels, but I'm choosing the first novel because ultimately the other two would have also have to be adapted because they are a series. So yeah, novel.
Perfect.
I'm really that way.
Perfect. I hope that happens one day. I hope.
Thank you. Okay, my next one. Since you've read Embraces in Ink, I want to know from you a letter that you would like to include in Embraces and why.
I think you've covered almost everything. But if I had to, it probably will be a letter to my bald head or letter to the scars.
Oh yeah, please
So
write it. I mean, even if you don't share it with the world, please share it with me. I would love to read that.
for sure.
I mean, of course, the world would also be grateful if you can share it with
Uh,
the world, but please share it with
I,
me first.
I think bald head and scars are very underrated. So
Yeah.
I, yeah.
In fact, now that I mean, I don't want to push my other book here, but I have
Please do, please
written
do.
a poem with that theme, and it's called "Scars to Your Beautiful," and
Wow.
it's in one of my previous poetry collection books.
Uh,
It's titled "Knight in Shining Armor." The book, if you can see the
yes.
one on the corner, that's "Knight in Shining Armor," and it's a collection of poems that I wrote with the theme of nighttime, and that's where I have written about the moon, and I talk about the moon in a way, comparing it to human scars that you also have
Yeah.
scars, we also have scars, and you teach us to
Yeah.
embrace those scars, and teach us that we can be beautiful with those.
That's actually so beautiful. I would love to read that, and I hope everybody reads that as well. It'll give them a little strength to, like show off their scars a bit.
Okay,
That's very nice.
your turn.
Yes. So, you've obviously like come across a lot of people who've read your books. So my question was that what do you think resonates with, like readers? Is it the storylines? Is it the characters? Or is it your writing style?
I think more than anything else, it's the language because I don't use fancy words. I
Mm,
use very simple language, and because of the language that I use, it makes the reading relatable, I feel. Uh,
mm,
because I'm talking about very everyday stuff. Even the fiction that I write, the characters are very real in my head. And they are like everyday people you probably come across every day. You know them, or you have met them, or you pass up, pass them
mm.
along your way to your work, or very like everyday people. And I think that's what people like about my writing. I mean, I
I
don't brag, but I think that's it.
I was actually about to ask you that, if your characters are from real life experiences or they are like just a creation of imagination and you just like answer that. So,
Yeah, actually, a lot of them are a mix of the people that I come across. I mean, I take one trait from one person and another trait from another person. It's always an amalgamation of, and I don't know if you are also like that because I have observed that most creative people
mm,
are very observant people. And I'm sure you are also like that. So we notice these things about
Yes,
people,
it's
and
true.
we tend to
Yeah,
be very keen about
yeah,
uh, behaviors and personalities of people around us. And I think that also helps us in creating characters that are authentic.
yeah. I really like that. I probably, like you said, that's why I could relate to what you were writing. It was like, I could imagine the person that you're writing about in my head. So,
Thank you.
yes.
We have a suggestion from Nilshri that Komal, you should read H&H. So Heartstrings and
That's
Harmonies
in
was the
yes.
book इससे पहले वाली book, the
Okay.
one I published before. And it's a collection of 29 short stories which are inspired by
Beautiful.
Hindi songs.
Oh wow. Wow, that's beautiful. I would love to read all your books actually. For
Thank
sure.
you. That would mean the world to me. Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Nilshri.
I think it's my turn now.
Yes.
My last question to you is a letter from Embraces that you would write differently, and in what manner?
I've actually I don't think I would change anything because mm, I don't know. These letters actually are from your point of view, based on what you've been through, your circumstances and your situations. And I I don't think even once when I was reading it, I was like, wish I could, add this or change this. For me, it is all about trying to understand your point of view and hearing your story. So no, I don't think. I think everything's just perfect the way it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
your last question.
Um, so yes, since I'm assuming you've probably had a very long journey, as a blogger and as an author. So any memorable experience that stands out amongst like through your whole journey?
As an author, so yeah, I've got a lot of appreciation for my work, and I'm very grateful for each review or each person who has not left a review also, but has, told me how much they enjoyed my work. It means a lot to me. And I think it's the biggest motivation for me to go on. But one particular instance that always stands out for me, and I think it's going to stand out for a lifetime. My third book had come out during the lockdown, July 2020, and I got a DM from one of the readers. They didn't review the book. It was a very random person. They were not even. I mean, they had a private profile on Instagram, but they had shared a DM with me saying that thank you for writing this book. I was going through a very tough time in my life, and your book gave me the strength to go on. And it was just so beautiful. I mean, everyone was going through a tough time that time.
Mm,
And if my book could be a ray of hope for someone, what
mm.
else could be better as a creator for me? So
Wow,
I think that's going to stay in my mind for a very long time.
that's wonderful. Actually, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
And thank you for asking that question, because after a long time I have been reminded of that incident, and it just put things into perspective so much. We have come out
Yeah,
of the pandemic, and of course, wow, thank God
mm,
for that.
yeah.
But
But
it was a
I
really difficult time.
Yeah, I agree, like what you said, because I think this is probably what you expect, right, out of your reading, that it just touches that one heart and it makes a difference. So that's actually so beautiful. That's very nice.
So yeah, if you have any more questions, I think I am done with mine.
There's just one last question.
Okay, sure.
When exactly did your journey begin? Like,
I,
when
uh,
did you know that you want to be an like author? Yeah.
oh, it's funny you should ask this, because I always call my writer and author journey a long process of elimination, because I've been here and
Okay.
there. I began my professional journey as a full-time employee, and I was a marketing executive at that time, and I didn't like the job, but a little bit of that involved writing content for their website, for their products, and I really enjoyed that part. So that gave me a little perspective on how I should take my professional journey ahead. ये तो मजा नहीं आ रहा है, ये part मजा आ रहा है, so let's do something in that.
Yeah.
I like the writing part in that. And I have always been a an avid reader since the age of 8. Books and literature and language, English language. I've always had, कुछ नहीं तो ये है लाइफ में तो ये अच्छा चल रहा है ऐसा. It has always been the best part of my life, books. So combined with my love for writing during the job and my love for reading, I thought I should, take that journey ahead. So I took up MA in English literature, completely changed my
Oh, okay.
track because I was a commerce student. And then I
Wow.
went into literature. So I did MA in English literature for 2 years, continued doing content writing as a freelancer on the side while I was doing the course. And while doing the literature course, I did an internship where again this writing bit was involved, and again it gave me a lot of perspective. I had made up my mind by that time that I want to do something related in the creative writing field. So I continued on that part, and after that, I thought maybe, and of course, we were, this was a period a decade back. We are
Wow.
talking about 2014, 15. Instagram had not bloomed all over the
Yeah.
place at that time. Content creation was not that big of a thing. So after MA in English literature, Indian parents and Indian mentality is that क्या ही कर सकते हो, teaching कर लो.
That's true.
So I mean, of course, I love the
Yes.
language, so I didn't mind
Mm,
it, and I had
mm,
I had been teaching kids for a while. Alongside
mm.
my MA with English literature course, I was doing content writing. I was also teaching. I was
Mm.
not charging anything, but I was teaching kids in my society. And
That's
I
great.
always,
Mm,
yeah, and I was always a bit of a grammar Nazi, uh, correcting people. So I didn't mind. I took up a job as an English teacher in a school, and I enjoyed teaching the kids. But again, the part of the job that I really enjoyed more was the creating of the content
mhm,
for teaching. I liked being behind the scenes more than being
mm.
in front of
Yeah.
this classroom. So
Mm,
that perspective, another broader perspective came in. And after that, I took up a job as a full time content creator for writing educational content.
okay.
And that was going really well. Unfortunately, the job that I took up was with a firm that was a startup and they weren't doing really well. So I had to quit that job, though I would have loved to continue in that field even today. But I guess life had other plans, so I had to quit that job. And from then, I was taking a little bit of a break because I had just got engaged and I wanted to take time to reflect on what I really want to do because I had been
Mm,
all over the place by that time. So uh, I took a break for about 4 to 5 months. And during that time, it was actually my husband who encouraged me that,
mm,
then fiance, later husband, of course.
mm.
He was the one who said that don't do a full time job. I don't think it's for you because you are going to quit again. So he was like, do what you have loved doing
Mm.
in all those jobs, no? Continue doing that. Uh, Continue doing content creation, continue writing. Why not that? And I continued doing that. I was doing freelancing jobs related to writing all types of content. And while I was doing that, I was like, instead of doing content for others,
Yeah.
why not put out my
Why
own
not do for
content?
yourself? Yeah.
And I have been doing poetry for a very long time. I've been writing
Oh,
poetry since I was a teenager. And so
wow. Okay.
uh, the first thought that came to my head was obviously putting out a book. अगर content बनाना है तो book तो चाहिए. I have to
Mm,
become an author. So uh, of course I learned a lot on the journey of
yeah.
becoming an author. पहले तो बहुत बड़े सपने थे कि वाओ मैं book लिख रही हूँ ये it will be a bestseller. That all of course came crashing down. Realities are by. So 2018, a year into my marriage and a year of doing freelance
Mm,
content creation of all kinds, I put the book out somewhere in January 2018. And the book went out, didn't receive as much appreciation, as much wahwa as I
mm,
expected it to. I mean, people, those who read it, of course, appreciated it and loved it. But tum kitna, matlab family, friends, pe how much you can rely?
yeah.
50, 60, 80, 100, 200, how
That's
many
true.
more people are
Yeah.
going to read?
Yeah.
So
Mm,
you had to, I learned that I have to continue doing this.
mm,
I can't just be a one book author.
yeah.
So,
Mm,
and by then I would also realize that besides book also you have to put out content. You can't just rely on your book content. You have to
yeah.
contribute to other
Yeah.
uh, kinds of content also. For
Yeah.
me, that became my blog and my
Okay.
social media account. So I got completely immersed into digital content and put out as much digital content as I could. And I mean, then the second book came out, and then the third, then the fourth, and then
Mm.
2020, I had the idea of starting the author collaborative, which has really helped, build up a
Yeah.
larger reader base for me. And I've just been learning on the go since then.
It's such a beautiful journey. And what you mentioned, about the sales, I feel it's, that one experience that you shared about how it touched someone's life. I think that says that your book is a bestseller. That's what you
Thank you.
need. And I really hope that it touches more and more people like that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and it's by after that first book and the humbling experience that no, just because I put a book
Yeah.
out, not everyone is going to buy it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a bit of a humbling experience for me, and I realized that I myself will have to put out a lot more content and put
Yeah.
in lot more effort for more and more people to read the books that I write and any other content. So yeah, it's always just like reaching out to more
Yeah.
people, asking them to read my work, check it out.
Yeah.
नहीं पसंद आ रहा है
It's
book
not
नहीं खरीदनी
easy.
कोई बात
I
नहीं.
know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
नहीं नहीं, आई एम वेरी ऑनेस्ट.
Yeah.
अगर तुमको बुक नहीं खरीदनी है तो कोई
Yeah.
बात नहीं. आई ऑल्सो पुट अ लॉट ऑफ फ्री कंटेंट, फॉलो दैट.
That is true. Mm. But it's amazing that you've held on and you've continued the journey. It's really nice. It's inspiring.
So a lot of other things followed because of the decision to embrace
Yeah.
this full time.
Mm.
I became a freelance writer and blogger. I contribute to various platforms. I edit other people's books.
Wow.
I
Okay.
ghostwrite other people's books. So
That's
there are
wonderful.
opportunities
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, you just need to be
Yeah.
able to grab them and just accept कि हाँ थोड़ा we need to
Yeah.
deviate from what is not keeping us happy.
But your husband was very he knew that, there is an order author budding somewhere. So he's a visionary.
Yes. Yeah, I always credit him for that, even though he doesn't read
Yeah.
my books, of course. But yeah, he's the one responsible for that author tag being on my
Yeah.
CV.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and Aparna has a different perspective here. She's saying he wanted to spend more time with you. Yeah, that could also be true.
I think it's a win-win for you. So works fine.
Yeah, as long as I'm enjoying
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, he's also of the school of thought that, at least one of us has to be doing something that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
One of
I'm,
us has to
I'm
be.
happy. I'm
Yeah.
happy that he gives you that support to like follow your passions. It's
Yes.
very nice. Very sweet of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So since we are, I mean, do you? I'm not sure. Do you have any more questions for me, or should we move on to the next one?
That's all from my side.
Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
So, since you have read Embraces, there's this new segment that I do with the guests now, which is called the Gratitude Bingo. What you have to do, Komal, is just answer a yes or no to a bunch of
Okay.
questions that I ask related to gratitude.
Okay.
Okay? It's a very interesting activity, and somehow it has gotten more popular than rapid fire now, which I'm very glad about, but I'm also feeling bad that, rapid fire is also good. What is this? Just a minute. Let me pull up the bingo.
Sure.
And we are getting a lot of hearts from people. So just a shout out to everyone who are sending us the hearts.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Looking forward to the bingo.
Yes, yes, we are here. So the first question is, did a random act of kindness?
Yes.
Okay. Second one, paid gratitude to an object.
Yes.
Hmm. I'm very interested in knowing what that object was.
Quite a few.
Okay. Next one, wrote a gratitude letter.
Yes.
Lovely. Uh, Next one, said sorry in the last 24 hours.
Many times. Yes.
Next one, said thank you in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Lovely. Next one, hugged someone in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Ooh, nice. Next one, said something nice or paid a compliment to someone in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Ah, you're doing
Sorry.
exceedingly well, by the way. Next one, forgave someone who hurt you.
Yes.
Lovely. Next one, helped someone without any motive or expectations.
Yes.
Next one, gave someone a shout out in the last 24 hours.
Mm, Not in the last 24 hours, no.
Okay. Next one, listen to someone with empathy and without judgment.
Yes.
Lovely. Next one, spent quiet time alone outside.
Did I? No.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's not a very outsidey weather. Oh, but you are in India.
I I'm in France right now and oh my God, it's raining. So
Now, yeah, it's not a
no.
very cheerful
Yeah.
weather, not very
No,
encouraging to go out.
not at all.
I can totally understand that. Winters in Europe are very
I know.
dreary. Next one. Did not complain a whole day.
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. I have to give you a round of applause for that because you are the fourth guest to say yes to that one.
Really,
Yeah,
I don't think I have complained in the past year actually, except for when I go to the doctor to inform. Like that's
you are
I can't
really, I
complain.
mean, beyond the book, also, you are an inspiration, Komal. I
Oh,
must say that.
that's very sweet. Thank you, kind of you.
Okay, next one. Wrote three things that you like about yourself.
No,
Please do that. There are a lot of things to like about you. Please do that today.
that's sweet of you.
Next one. Wrote three things that you like about your parents.
I've said it in my mind. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, of course, it definitely counts. And also tell them.
I think I'm going to pick up the call and tell them. Thank you.
Next one. Wrote three things that you like about someone you envy.
Can I say that I don't envy anyone? I mean,
I mean, you are now reaching a very zen level for me. So, yeah.
no, no. Just life's experiences teaching me things.
Next one. Wrote three things that you write about or like about a friend or colleague.
I did actually, yeah.
Oh,
Not in the last 24 hours, but I have recently.
okay. Next one. Held, mentored, or shared knowledge with someone.
Yes.
Lovely. This is going to be a little difficult because, again, Europe weather. Watch the sunset in the past month.
I haven't seen the sun.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say
I'm
that. Not
waiting.
possible in the European weather. Yeah, totally relate to that. Next one. Observed or appreciated nature and its elements.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Lovely. Again, I think you are going to say no, but sat in the sunlight in the past week.
Past week, no,
Yeah,
no.
because I नहीं रहा है sun
Yeah.
तो कहाँ
I
बैठेंगे?
नहीं रहा. I know it's been 2 weeks. I'm beating.
Next one. Made someone laugh or smile in the. I mean, you have done this, so I know. Made someone laugh or smile in the past 24 hours.
I can see my son smile,
Yeah,
so it
lovely.
counts.
Next one. Turned or looked at a negative situation in a positive manner. I mean, the whole book is that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, sending virtual hugs.
Thank you so
Keep it up.
much. Thank you so much.
Next one. Did something this month that you have been wanting to do for a long time.
Uh, I can say yes, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to know in DM what that is, but what did you
Definitely.
do? Okay. Next one. Took ownership or responsibility for your mistake.
Yes, for sure.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as my very good friend Nilshri is saying in the comments, I also have to admit this would be the first one with most yeses.
I I hope I've been honest, but yes, it's
Yeah. I mean,
I
you said yes to did not complain a whole day. I mean, you are
yeah.
a winner for me there only.
I honestly complain and do what? Because there's no solution to it. So
Yeah. That's true.
I
And that comes across in your
yeah,
personality attitude in the book also. So
yeah.
I should not be surprised.
I think it's just easier when you don't complain, it's yeah.
Lovely. I think I need to embrace that quality from you and
Mm.
emulate it. I hope I can.
I'm sure we all do, in our own ways. So yeah.
Yeah. So before we wrap up the episode, I just want to thank everyone and just scrolling through anything if we have missed out. Did others complain that you didn't complain?
I actually, she's right. People do complain that I don't complain. So,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. इतना
that's true.
पॉजिटिविटी लाती कहाँ से हो कोमल?
I think my
ऐसा.
doctor. So, just to share a funny thing, my doctor actually once told me that can you please complain? Like, like don't tell me that you're doing fine because I know you're not. So,
Yeah.
I'm learning. I don't know if I'm learning, but I'm not succeeding, but I'm learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for asking that question, Afsana. I think,
Thank you, Sana. Yes.
yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, Afsana is saying I would get frustrated.
Uh, uh,
Yeah.
I don't know how
And,
to say. It's probably people won't believe, but I genuinely don't get mad or unhappy. So,
lovely. Keep
yeah.
up that attitude. I mean, even if people are frustrated,
Yes.
don't give up on that.
For sure.
Okay. I think that's about it from the comments. And I do this with every guest that comes on the show and I've obviously enjoyed the show. I laughed so much. So I am going to ask you,
Yeah.
when are you writing the next book so I can invite you again?
I haven't thought of that actually, but now you've put a thought in my mind. So,
This is your sign to start working on this next book.
definitely. I think we're going to connect soon.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you a possible deadline for that. So maybe end of
Okay.
2025 or beginning of 2026. I,
Oh,
I should
no
receive
pressure.
a mail from you saying that, Manali, I'm ready with the first draft. Book will come out in 2 months.
I hope to at least be ready with like an
Yeah.
idea, hopefully. And if you approve, then why not? It can hopefully materialize. Maybe
Sending it into the universe,
I
manifesting
hope so.
already.
That means a lot. But I don't know. Can I ask you that same question? When is your
Oh yeah,
next book
I put
expected?
out one book every year at least, and
That's
for the
nice.
past 2 years it has been two books a year. So
Wow,
this,
beautiful.
this book came out in December. You can expect the next book by June or July,
Oh wow. Looking forward to that. That's
and
amazing.
yeah, but you'll hear about it eventually, because I am somebody who doesn't keep quiet about her books. I talk about it all the time. Yeah.
Rightly so, you should. Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you, Komal, and I hope to see you again on the show sometime in 2026. I'm giving you a deadline from my side, so start writing that book.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your other collabs. They are fun.
Yes. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for writing this book. You are an inspiration. Please keep it up and
So
stay
much.
strong. Keep smiling. We love that
So
smile.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
You too.